Their big story tonight, we're hearing from the father of a 3-year-old boy whose mother and her boyfriend are behind bars accused of his murder. Daniel Theriot was found in a remote area near Lake Mead earlier this week. His mom, Cassie Smith, reported him missing Sunday. By Monday, Smith and her boyfriend, Joshua Oxford, were arrested, accused of killing the little boy. 8 News Now reporter Sasha Loftus spoke with his father, James Theriot, and also with one of Cassie Smith's closest childhood friends. She joins us now with both reactions tonight.
Brian James Theriot and Jared Jordan say they're both baffled by Daniel's death, but the two say completely different things about Cassie Smith, the child's mother. Theriot tells me he knew something bad was going to happen, but he never expected his child to die. Jordan says his friend was a victim, and Oxford is the one to blame for Daniel's death.
I was shocked about it all.
Sorrow and confusion.
I told her in the beginning, I said, I have a bad feeling.
Paint two different pictures after a child's death.
She was also afraid that he was going to try and hurt her baby, her kids, the most.
Jared Jordan speaks of his childhood friend as James Theriot mourns the loss of his son taken too soon.
I feel like my soul is separated from itself just a little bit, but there are no words at how I feel. None that I can explain.
Did you understand the charges in your criminal complaint?
Cassie Smith and her boyfriend Joshua Oxford are accused of killing her 3-year-old son Daniel.
He had more to do with the killing or whatever with the child than she did.
Police found the boy's body Monday in a remote area near Lake Mead.
She said that she was hiding in the closet all night from him. He had no idea she was even there, and she was hiding from him.
Before this happened, Jordan says Cassie would call him, saying she was scared for her life.
I'm not happy about what happened, but he will always be my son, and he will always be with me.
While Theriot tells me he wanted his kids away from Oxford, and Smith wouldn't leave him.
I didn't know that this is what was going to happen, but I told her in the beginning, I said, I have a bad feeling.
But more than anything, both are baffled the abuse would get to this point.
I can't believe it. I just really can't believe it.
And hope that the Daniel they call sweet and happy finds peace.
I'm sorry, and I love him, and I wish I was actually there to protect him.
Now, Jordan says Cassie has a history of dating abusive men. He told me he really hopes she's innocent, and if she's not, he and his family are shocked to say the least. Theriot tells me he had plans to get custody of both Daniel and his brother Brandon before all of this happened because he wanted them away from Oxford. Denise.
Well, Smith's family is shedding light on her troubled past and how the mother and her children ended up in Las Vegas. 8 News Now reporter Karen Castro speaks to a relative who tried to intervene before it was too late.
Smith's family tells me she had the support of loved ones who cared about her and her 2 sons, but there is only so much they could do to keep them safe.
They didn't deserve this, and the family was very involved. We did our absolute best without kidnapping these children to step in and be involved.
Crystal Kels is Cassie Smith's cousin. Her mom took the 20-year-old and her 2 sons in about a year ago. Kels says Smith was being investigated by CPS and needed a better place to live, and her mother had health issues, so it worked out for both to help each other and live in the same house. Kels says the boys were well taken care of and family would stop by to check in on them. But this is also where Smith met her boyfriend Joshua Oxford. He lived across the street. About 2 months ago, Kels says Smith suddenly moved to Las Vegas with Oxford without telling anyone.
It's a real tragedy. A lot of people's lives are affected by this, even strangers who never even met Daniel or Brandon, and it's awful. I don't see how anybody could hurt a child like this.
Kels tells me she hopes she and her family can still be in Brandon's life. Now, the father of the 2 boys, who also lives in Texas, says he'll be traveling to Las Vegas later this week to try and get custody of his surviving son. Karen Castro, 8 News Now.